What's your dirty little secret? We had 2 pet rabbits. First one dies, so we find a box. I dig a hole and place the rabbit in the box in the little grave, all in the pitch black, just using my phone light. Within 48 hours the other dies. My wife wants me to dig up the other rabbit in its little grave and pop the other rabbit in. I'm against the idea as it's kinda weird and I don't wanna see a dead animal. She insists, my children insist. So I agree. I never dug up the other rabbit, I just dug another hole in the dark, again, and placed the second rabbit in the hole. My wife and 2 kids think the rabbits are buried together. They aren't. This happened last week. When I bought the first real shoes for my now 2-year-old son, we also went to make an appointment at the barber shop to get some hair cut around his ears. They did it right there and charged no money for it because it took just 2 minutes. I came home and my wife was upset because she was not there when he got his first shoes, as those are special moments for a mother. Afterwards, I did not mention that he had his hair cut and probably never will tell her. All mine is that my wife thinks my daughter took her first steps to walk to her. But she actually walked a few times before that, and my wife wasn't around to see it. I never told her. I took the baby to her work and let the baby walk to her and told her that was the first time she walked. Other than Reddit, no one is ever going to know. I recently found out my wife is cheating on me. Been doing it for years and is still doing it now. As soon as she finishes her cancer treatment and is back on her feet and able to work again, I'll ask her for a divorce. I can only imagine how hard this must be, and I truly respect the patience and empathy you're showing. It takes a lot of strength to put someone else's well-being above your own. Thank you, kind stranger. If I'm honest, I don't see myself as strong like that. I almost did leave the moment I found out. What kept me from doing it? If I boil it down, it comes to 2 reasons, one selfish and the other not. We've been together for 16 years. I moved to this country and left everything and everyone I know literally half a world away. Why? Because I love her. I can't just stop loving her from one day to the other. I always wanted what was best for her. Cancer is just the last thing I'll do for her because I need to prove to myself I am a good person. Her cheating guess shattered my self-esteem, my sense of worth. I know it's a horrible and selfish way of looking at it, but it does help me mentally. We have children. They are not super young, one just became a teenager, and the other is about to become one. They'll understand when we separate. They are both strong and I have no doubts they will get it. But they are still kids. They need their mom. Despite what she's done to me, she is a good and caring mom to them, so I'll take care of her as best I can so they can have a mom. I got a stomach bug from Mexico on my honeymoon. Had the most explosive S on the side of a McDonald's because the doors were locked. I couldn't hold it anymore and our luggage got lost, so I didn't have a backup pair of pants and underwear. Cleaned myself up and we went through the drive-thru. Lol. I'm a straight woman who likes to watch gay pee from time to time. It sometimes interests me. My wife doesn't watch gay pee, but she does read erotica. I ain't complaining. Man, I'll tell you, she can get freaky because a gay man knows what to do with the stick and she can learn from it. I read 2 and it's down to 2 reasons. 1. So much of straight pee or even F/FP are fake. You can hear a fake moan and it turns me off. All are catered for men too. 2. I don't have to be insecure about my body because there is no other woman to compare to. Sometimes you just want to watch or get turned on and don't have a sudden thought like, if I have a body like that, I bet I can be more attractive. Or, is that act something I should enjoy? Is it normal that I don't? I have a lot of secrets that I keep from my very religious family. My husband's family knows more about me than my actual family. I wish I could be myself around them, but I just can't. I put on a happy face in public, but I'm deeply unhappy. Can't even put on the happy faces much more. I'm quitting my job tomorrow and it's going to feel so good. New one starts in December. I've had so many more women flirt with me and blatantly throw themselves at me after I got into a relationship. Dude, my wife and I are open, and women will be interested, even knowing I'm married, until I tell them we're open, and my wife knows. Suddenly, they aren't interested anymore. I don't get it. Worked as a fluffer to pay college debt. I dated a girl, shortly, who had been a fluffer for a while. She was good at oral, I will give her that. It ended when the crazy came out. I'm in love. Hey, good for you, fellow human. Embrace that happiness and hang on to it. Love is hard to find in this world. Very happy for you. I accidentally caused $10 million worth of damage to a paper mill on my last day of work. They still don't know it was me. When I was 18, I moved to a big city. Work construction was summer, was waiting for bus when this older lady, 37, was waiting too and struck up a conversation with me. She was wearing a cute summer dress, told me she's lonely and her husband's always out of town, and then touched my arm and said, "You look like you work hard." She asked me if I wanted to come over and she could make me a meal. Bruh, she ended up giving me an HJ aggressively while sitting at the dinner table, and told me to call her mommy and to be a good boy and finish for her. We hooked up the rest of summer, but that struck something in me to this day where I love being controlled in bed. I have a FWB that's 30 years older than I am. We've been having fun for almost 4 years now. I've learned and grown a lot since we started hanging out. I very much hope they are at least in their 50s. I'm into unauthorized inventory reduction. This is the most eloquent way of saying stealing I have ever heard. I'm always naked under my clothes. One morning I thought it was my wife's turn to bring my daughter to daycare, so I left for work. 30 minutes later I got a call asking where my daughter was. Realized what day it was. Opened my daughter's sleep camera, saw her chilling in bed playing with toys. Fastest I've ever driven home. Wife still has no clue. I was in major US city for a conference years ago, and ended up at a house party in the suburbs somewhere. There was a male celebrity from a popular TV show at the time in attendance. His lady and I struck up a conversation, and about 15 minutes in she let me know this was his party, and at 11 p.m. the organizers would stop admitting guests, and a room to the back would be open. The woman I went with wasn't feeling well, and we ended up leaving before the fun started. My flight was early the following morning too. I didn't want to end stranded in the middle of nowhere. There's still a couple. I see them on TV on red carpets now and then and smile to myself about what could have been. I F'd my close cousin. Later both found out we are related and stopped. She had the best. Why stop at that point? She wanted a baby. So, had a one-night stand with a friend years ago. He pulled down his pants and I was shocked because of how tiny his pee is. Gave him head for 2 minutes, said I'm on my period, and then laughed. I just sucked off a baby carrot. What's my dirty little secret? I hate, and I mean hate, almost everyone aka the general public. Most everyone is literally stupid, willfully ignorant, or a complete spurred. Often all three. I still treat everyone with honest kindness and respect. That's what I was taught, and regardless of how much I hate some people, I can't help but take a higher road. That I secretly have a child in another country. I'm not ashamed of her or my relationship with her mother, but I'm keeping both of them away from my awful family. Half of them are hypocritical white trash Christians and would most certainly gossip and pass judgment. The other half would try to impose and insist I separate her from her mother to bring her to the US for a better life, and so she can be surrounded by family. Considering something similar happened with another family member, I'd rather not deal with it. I got R8 in my sleep by my boyfriend multiple times. I have forgiven him many times. Finally, now I felt like enough is enough and ended the relationship. The worst part is that nobody knows how he really is, and everyone is thinking that we were so much in love because we were together for almost 6 years. I was such a fool for thinking that he would change. People think I'm a great cook and I cheat all the time. MSG, powdered chicken and beef broth. Cheese was in my macaroni and cheese. Chili is swimming in rendered bacon grease. My any clam chowder is often a roux to start with. I am a massive fraud. I once held a large ornamental owl for ransom, sending photos of it to the owner, with hammers and chisels in the photo threatening to send bits of wing, one at a time unless my demands were met. My mother eventually let me have custard and ice cream instead of one or the other. Do you have any secrets? Feel free to share them in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more daily videos.